Hello, I'm Rachel. This is Body by Bender Mat Pilates, and we're going to get started lying down on the floor. So let's get onto our backs carefully, and if you bruised your whole left butt cheek, just gently come down instead of like plopping. Feet are going to be planted flat onto the floor to start. Hands are going to come down by your side, and let's just start off with a little bit of a pelvic tuck. So we're just going to lift our hips up just 1 inch off the mat. Bring them right back down. Find that natural curve in the spine again. So just really small to start. I just want you to tuck that tailbone under and then untuck. Get the feet are planted down. Open up the collarbones. We're just warming up the pelvis here. Just giving that low back a little bit of an extension, a little bit of flexion. On your next one, I want you to curl up, start to peel up into your shoulder bridge. So we're lifting up to just the tips of the shoulder blade. Pull the ribs down and tuck the tailbone even further as you lift up. And roll back down, nice and slow. Again, we curl that tailbone, lift up. Head and neck are gonna stay totally still. Sorry, I'm trying to move my mic. It's like trying to get into my mouth today. I'm like, no. Okay, just stay there, please don't. Oh wait, no, it's falling off my face. Okay, this is fine. I'm just gonna hold it. Keep rolling up and down. 2 more, just like this. Good. On this last one, I want you to hold those hips up as high as you can and just start to dip one hip down to the side. So maybe we'll drop that left hip to start. Come back through center, dip to the other side, and lift up. So one hip dips and come right back down. So put a little more weight into the foot of the hip that isn't dipping. The rest of the body stays still. We're just kind of twisting the hips around the spine, if that kind of makes sense. I think it does visually. One cheek drops, the other cheek lifts. 2 more on each side. Last one. Good. Hold those hips up high. Tiny pulses straight to the ceiling for 10. 9. Squeeze the glutes. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Roll all the way down. Good. And from here, I want you to just cross your right ankle over your left and bring both your feet into the center. So both feet are flat onto the floor, right ankle is crossed over the left. And we're gonna roll up again, this time getting a little more of an inner thigh connection in our bridging. So I really want you to squeeze the thighs together, squeeze the knees together. Feel those glutes turn on, feel those inner thighs kick in. And we're still articulating through the spine. So we're still just coming up to the shoulder blades, pulling the abs in towards the spine. Ribs draw down. Let's go for 2 more just like this. Good. Keep squeezing those knees together. Last one, lift up all the way. Those tiny pulses again. So let's hip straight up to the sky for 10. Squeeze. 9. Knees together. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Roll all the way down through your spine. Uncross those ankles. Give yourself a little shake. Switch to the other side. Left ankle over right, knees are squeezed into each other. We roll it up, bone by bone, roll it down. And this side might feel a little bit different. Just keep in mind that no one's body is perfectly symmetrical and everyone has a good side and a bad side. It's not just for photos, it's for your glutes too. Squeeze as you lift up. Let's go for 3 more like this. Keep rolling through, just warming up that spine. Last 2. Good, and on this final one, I want you to hold those hips up high, start to press the hips up to the ceiling for 10. Squeeze the glutes. 9, knees together. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Roll all the way down, uncross those legs. Shake everything out. I'm gonna take a quick technical difficulty moment here and just fix my mic, because why are you doing this today? I don't have that Britney Spears effect if it falls off my face. Okay, I'm gonna have you, okay, good, we're patched, we're cleared, I think. Yeah, that looks good, okay. All right, I want you to bring your legs into tabletop now. You're gonna curl your head and chest off of the mat. Bring your heels together, toes apart, and just reach those hands forward today. So just reach the fingertips past the thighs, reaching towards the wall in front of you, and have your hands hovering a couple inches off the floor. Head and chest is curled up, belly button draws down. There shouldn't be any tension in your neck. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. From here, we're gonna stretch those legs out at a high diagonal, bend them right back in. Oh, what I forgot to say. Turn the feet out, bring the heels together, toes apart. So let's do this nice and slow today. Lots of control. Keep the heels squeezed together. And just pull the knees in right over the hips. I don't want them coming into your chest. Keep curling up. Reach those fingertips forward. 1 more inch. Shoulders down the back. For 4. Nice and slow today. 3. 2. Last one. Keep those legs out of that diagonal. I just want you to separate the feet about hip width apart, close together. We open and close. Soft pointing those toes. You don't need to do anything crazy today. Open and close. Keep curling up for 4. 3. 2. Last one. Keep them here. Bring the heels together. Start to cross those feet. Right ankle over left, left ankle over right. Right and left. Little flutter here. Cross, cross. We'll pick it up here. A little bit faster now. Cross, 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 cross for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend those knees into your chest. Let the head go back. Whew, just felt my hip crack. Delightful sensation, let me tell you. All right, from here, head and chest is going to curl up again. And this time I want you to pull in just one leg, extend the other leg out of the high diagonal, both hands come on top of that shin that's pulling in. We're still drawing the shoulders down the back, pulling the belly button towards the floor, and we just switch. Switch the grip on that leg as the other leg extends out. Rest the body, stay still. We're deepening the connection to your abs, so we're still pulling that belly button to the floor. We're not pulling the knee into the belly. So you kind of want the knee to come right in front of your nose without bashing you in the face, because that hurts and I've done it before. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend those knees and let the head and chest go back. Very nice. We're gonna just straighten those legs straight up to the sky. And I want you, sorry, I'm really having mic difficulties today. I apologize. Normally I'm much more professional. All right, hands are gonna come down by your side. Feet are gonna come together again. Bring those heels together, toes apart, so you've got slight turnout in the feet. We're gonna drop those heels down to a high diagonal and then scoop in the belly button until we lift those legs back up. And try to relax your toes here. I know I always hold all of my tension in my feet for some reason. Just try to get a little relaxed. Put some tension into your abs instead. Have that be where your focus is. Just trying to keep that belly button pulling down towards your back every time the legs lift up. And again, take this slow. The slower you go, the more effective it is, and then we don't have to do it for as long. So we're gonna do just 2 more actually, because this is plenty. I feel it. Good. Last one. Come all the way up. Bend those knees into your chest. I want you to bring those feet back down to the floor actually. And we're gonna do kind of, I always I try to explain this and I always do it so poorly, but I like this move. I want you to curl the head and chest up and just reach your one hand towards your ankle. So let's start with your left hand towards your left ankle and then we switch to the other side. So it's kind of just like you're shrugging your body over to one side. We're crunching the abdominals, a little work in the waist. Keep the head and chest lifted. You're just kind of reaching for that ankle. Fingertips can either be in towards you or just towards the floor. We twist side to side, a little lateral movement here. Keep in mind the hips aren't moving here. This is all from the waist. Your obliques, the sides of your belly should be feeling this work. Let's go for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. I want you to just bring those legs to the tabletop now. Keep those hands where they are. Keep head and chest curled up. And actually take those hands behind the head. Palm over palm, hip to the neck. Sorry, I'm changing my mind as we go. That right leg's gonna extend out. Right ankle's gonna come to the right toes gonna come to the left knee. And then we're gonna switch, crisscross. It's like the simplest move in the world and I cannot explain it right now. So that the leg switches out. As we twist, try to keep both shoulder blades off the floor. I know it's really hard, and I know your obliques feel it, but we're just gonna do 10 more here, then we're out of it. 8 more. 7. Looking good. Last 4. 3, 2, 1. Bring it down. Bring it all down. Feet come flat on the floor. Let those knees fall to one side. Turn your gaze the other way. Open those arms up to the side. Deep breath in. Exhale. Good. And then switch. Other way. Ow. Okay, just went over that bruise on my butt. Okay. Falling down the stairs is not advisable. Come through the center. And then when you're ready, rock yourself up to seated. And just plant your feet onto the mat. So you have both feet flat on the floor. Knees are just kind of like bent a little bit, and hands are gonna come behind you, getting that nice big capital M shape, because yes, we're doing some tricep dips and a little bit of backwards plank today. So, for start, we're just gonna like lift those hips up, come into a tabletop position, and then bring it all back down. That's all we're doing to start. So we scoop that belly button as we lift up, find that nice flat tabletop with the front side of your body at the top. We're not arching the back, we're not puffing the ribs up to the ceiling. Everything is nice and controlled. We're squeezing the glutes. Send the knees out over the toes. That'll help you straighten everything out in front of the body. Soft bend in those elbows too. Let's go for 4 more here. 3 more. Nice and slow. Good. Last 2. Final 1. Good. I want you to hold this tabletop. And if you're like me and you didn't get yourself enough room, walk yourself back so you have more space for your legs. I just want you to keep the tabletop at the top of the body. We're just going to extend those legs out into a backwards plank and then walk it back in. So one leg drops out, comes back in, we do both. If this is too much for you today, you're welcome to just keep dropping the hips, or really just do one leg at a time and then walk it back in. You'll still get the same work. We're stabilizing the upper body. Just obviously you're going to have to do a little more stabilization if both legs are out because legs are heavy. Good, keep going. Let's go for 2 more like this. Last one, find that tabletop again. Bring the hips down. Take a second, shake out those wrists. Hands are gonna come right back behind you again, fingertips facing in towards you. And I want you to hover those hips just 2 inches off the floor. We're gonna go for our tricep dips now. So we just bend those elbows back behind us, lift everything up. And again, you don't need to have your hips drop all the way down. Doesn't be anything dramatic. I really want you to just keep the shoulders out of the ears, keep the elbows drawing together behind you, and try to keep sending those knees over the toes. Don't pull them in. 2 more here. Sorry, I'm talking. Last 2. Hold on this last one halfway down. Bend and straighten the elbows for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sit your butt down. Shake out those wrists. Take a second. Reset. Shimmy shake. 1 second. I'm just going to try to see if I can actually. Okay, I think we're good. All right. Technical difficulties, just like our country. All right. So bring your heels onto the mat and flex those toes up, and tuck your feet in just a little bit closer to you. This one's always a little funkier to set up. Everyone's different. Depends on the proportion of your legs. But I want you to lift your hips up and straighten the legs and the hips out behind your hands. Pull right back into that M shape. So the goal is to have your butt not touch the floor while you do this. If it does, it's okay. But I want you to try. Just squeeze those glutes and lift away from the floor. 3 more here, and then that's it. Last 2, there's no variations. Final 1. Woo! Set those hips down. Shake out those wrists. Good. All right, let's flip on over to our backs. We'll give our arms a break and focus a little more on some upper back extension. So, I want you to bring those hands right in front of you so you make a little pillow for your forehead with your palms, palm over palm. Put your forehead into your hands, draw the shoulders away from your ears, squeeze the glutes, tuck your tailbone. And pretend like there's a tiny thumbtack right underneath your belly button, so your abs pull a little bit away from the floor. From here, I want you to start to lift your head and your hands off the mat. Glue them together the whole time. Come into a tiny baby back extension, where you're just lifting up from your mid-back. Pull the abs in, lower back down. So if you feel this at all in your low back, make this movement a little bit smaller. You don't need to come up that high. It's not a contest. No one can see you, not even me. Draw the shoulders down the back. I care way more about your form here than about how high you can go. Because actually, if you're going really high, that means you're not really doing it right. And you're just kind of, relying on your flexibility instead of using your muscles. Make it muscular. Keep it small. Let's go over 4 more here. Keep those hands and that forehead glued together. Length out the neck. 3 more. Good. I think that I can see you too. Last one. Come all the way down. Relax, turn your cheek to one side. Just give yourself a little breather for a second. Good. All right. We're gonna switch those hands now to be right underneath your armpits. So again, draw those shoulders down away from the ears. I know they love to hunch up right there. Just take them down gently. You don't need to jam them anywhere. But just give yourself a little bit of room so the neck is nice and long and pretty.
From here, try to avoid using the support of your hands. Lift them off of the mat just 1 inch. See how high you can lift up in this position. And then lower back down. So I just want you to hover those hands, use those magical mid-back muscles. Use to squeeze the glutes. Use the abs to help you lift. Keep that gaze long. Keep those shoulders away from the ears. Lengthen as you come up. Let's go for 4 more. Keep that little hover. 3 more. Keep squeezing the glutes. Tuck that tailbone. Last 2. On the spine, I want you to hold everything up. Bring those hands into fists and turn your palms so they're facing in towards you. From here, you're gonna extend those arms back behind you. Lift up a little bit higher in that chest. Bend the elbows, come back in. We extend the arms back behind, reach back in. So we're trying to lengthen out first before we lift up. Try to reach those fists towards your toes instead of straight up to the ceiling. So just reaching behind you instead of up to the sky. The movement is still happening from your mid-back, it's not from your arms swinging. Let's go for 4 more here. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. 3 more. Good. Keep pulling those abs in. Last 2. On the spine, I want you to hold those hands back. Try to tap those fists towards each other right over your butt for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring those hands underneath your armpits. Press back into a child's pose. Deep inhale here. Deep exhale. Relax into it. Bring your hips in between your heels. Send those knees out wide. Maybe walk both your hands over to one side of your mat. So stack your left hand over your right and just let your left hip sink back. So you get a nice stretch in the side of your body. Because like even though this is moving through your back, your abs are working too. All the muscles of your ribs are working. It's nice to get a good stretch. And when you're ready, hands to the other side of your mat. Stack the right hand over the left. Drop into that right hip. Find that nice deep stretch for the side of your body. Whew, feels really good. I mean, at least for me, but that's because I sleep in really weird contorted positions, so this is ideal. All right, when you're ready, I'm gonna have you come into the center of your mat and lie down onto your left side to start. We're gonna do a little bit of sideline leg work to finish things off today. I know, hard to believe we're almost done, but time flies when you're having fun. Yeah, I think so. All right, so line up your body with the back edge of your mat. So your nice straight line. You can either have your head in your hand or onto your forearm. I'm gonna do it on my hand just because I kind of always like this pose. And then bring your feet to the front corner of your mat. Couple of options here. You can bring that bottom leg bent up underneath you for a little bit of a wider base if you're having anything up with your knees today, or you can just keep that leg extended. Both are totally fine and you will get all the work no matter what you choose. I want you to lift that top leg up just so it's actually at hip height. And make sure that your hip isn't rolling forward or peeling back. You want the hips stacked on top of each other. From here, I just want you to bend that right knee in so that your right knee is parallel to your hip, and then press back out. Flex into that right foot. And that top hand, the right hand can either be onto your hip or out in front of you for a little bit of extra support here. Either one is totally fine. We're just getting warmed up here. Things to think about: make this movement come from your glute rather than from your foot. So when you pull in, you can feel that glute starting to work, starting to stretch a little bit. Use that momentum from pulling that leg in to help you press back out using that glute muscle. Good. Well, many glute muscles actually. Glutes are amazing. Let's go for 4 more. 3. Good. 2. Last one, I want you to hold that leg out long. Gently point those toes. Nothing crazy, just a gentle point. We're going to start to sweep that leg forward, bringing the toes in front of your nose, and then press back. For this, I find it actually is pretty helpful to have your hand out in front of you to give you a little bit of extra support here so you don't wiggle around. But totally up to you, wherever you need that support today. Sometimes the hip could be a little bit easier. Now we're trying to keep this leg at the same height the whole time. So we're not dipping down to the floor, we're not piking it up. It's nice and controlled. Again, that glute is making this happen. It's not the foot, it's not the knee. And on that note, bend that knee just a little bit. Because I know if you're like me, you love to hyperextend just because it looks pretty. Avoid doing things that are pretty, do things that are muscular. Good. And this looks kind of pretty. Let's go for 3 more here. 2 more. Last one, I want you to hold that leg back. Keep it at hip height. Tiny circles forward out, the size of a grapefruit for 8,
7, nice and small, 6, 5, right from the glute, 4, 3, 2, 1, reverse for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold that leg center. Start to turn that whole leg in from your hip. So we're going to internally rotate that foot and then externally rotate. We internally rotate, external. So it doesn't have to be super big, and I don't want your foot to just kind of like do the work. This should be coming from the hip. You should feel kind of, sort of like a somewhat enjoyable, like little massage deep in your hip flexor, maybe. Try to keep the leg at the same height. Let's go for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Hold that external rotation. Tiny tap that leg up towards the ceiling for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it down. Give yourself a little round of applause, a little tap out if you need it. And then you know what? Just because I'm feeling a little extra spicy today, we're going to do the inner thigh while we're here too. So just take that top leg, lay it in front of you, parallel to the front edge of your mat. I want you to extend that bottom leg, that left leg now, out as far as you can away from you. Flex really, really hard into that left foot. So to lift that leg up towards the sky, bring it back down. Up and down, nothing crazy to start. That top can either be on your hip or it can be out in front of you. Either one is fine still. Just keep trying to reach that heel as far away from you as humanly possible. Just imagine, you know, it's like a, I don't know, a Republican senator. Just like try to get it away from you. Reach it out and down. We go for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Hold that leg up. We start to point and flex. Point and flex. Just for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Hold the point of that foot. Circle that leg forward for 8. Sorry, circle 9, 7, 6, I can't count. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Circle back for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tap up to the sky for 8, 7, as high as you can. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it down. Woo, jeez. And then we're going to take it on over to the other side. We'll stretch after, don't worry. We got a little bit. Ooh, jeez, we're running through time. All right. I'm going to switch my mic, and we're going to take it to the left leg. So, same setup as before. We line up with the back edge of the mat. Bring that hand as a little pillow for your head, or your forearm is fine. Your legs line up at the back edge of the mat. Bring them forward to the front corner. Option to bend that bottom leg in for a wider base, or to keep it extended. Top hand come onto that hip, or right in front of you. I'm going to do in front of me today for this side. That left leg's going to lift up, flex into that left foot, bend the knee in towards you, and then press it back out. So just a single leg kind of squat here. It's like what you do if you were standing on the ground, only it's a lot easier because you're on your side. So while you're here, a couple other things to think about. There's always more, right? Pull those abs into your spine. Keep those shoulders out of your ears. And really try to keep your knee in the same line as your hip. So it's not popping up or dipping down. And your glute is fueling this movement. It's not the foot. The foot's just kind of there for that extra oomph. 5 more here. 4 more. Good. Last 3. 2. Final one. Hold that leg out long. Soft pointing those toes. Start to sweep that leg forward. Toes in front of the nose and press back in line with the hip. And if your leg does not go all the way forward, maybe you don't have that flexibility in your hip, it's totally fine. Just take it as far as you can while still maintaining a stable base with your body. So by that I mean I don't want your hips like peeling forward just to try to get your toes up to your nose. Like that's not the goal here. I want that glute working. That is the entire reason to do this movement. To feel your glute like, you know, burning and alive. 4 more here. Nice and slow. For 3, 2, last one. I want you to hold that leg back. Just circle that leg forward for 8. So nice and small. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reverse for 8. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold that leg here. Start to internally rotate that leg. Open it up. Yes, you think I forgot about this. I didn't. It's terrible on both sides because you're just like, why is my hip so tight? Why can't I move it very far? You know what? This is why we do this. To massage that terrible tight place in your body. That's the whole reason you do Pilates, really. We go into the spots you didn't know were there. Let's go for 5 more here. 4 more. 3, 2. Last one. Hold that external rotation, toes up towards the sky. Tiny pulses here. Send the leg up as high as you can for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it down. Woo. Give yourself a little round of applause. And then pull that front knee forward. Just lay it flat on the floor. It's easier. There's another way to do it. I don't want to. Flex that bottom right foot. Hand will come onto the hip or in front of you again. We're gonna lift that leg up as high as we can, drop it down. Again, try to send that right heel as far away from you as you possibly can. You're lengthening out so far. It's like you're growing another inch just from your leg. Let's go for 5 more here. 4 more. 3, 2. Last one, we hold that leg up. Start to point those toes and flex. Point and flex. Just for 8 more here. 7, keep lifting that foot up as high as you can. 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one, hold that point. Circle forward for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reverse for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pulse to the ceiling for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo! Bring it down. Come into the center of your mat and come into a kind of a little crunchy ball position. I guess is the nicest way I can put it. And turn your feet out away from each other and come into a nice low squat. So I want you to just use kind of like the leverage of your elbows to press your knees out gently away from each other. I'm sure there's a real name for this in yoga. I just call it a screaming frog. That's always what I feel like when I'm here. I just really want to just be like, oh my fucking God. So tight. So painful, but so good at the same time. Just press those knees away from each other. Use those elbows to help. And then when you're ready, just I want you to kind of heel toe your way out. Straighten out the arms, straighten the legs a little bit. Press down to one side and extend one leg out the other way. So we're just kind of a single leg, middle split, stretch thing here, whatever you want to call it. Again, I'm not a yoga teacher. You know, I always want to pretend I am, but I'm just not that zen. But the stretches are nice. And then we're going to walk up through center, other side. Get into those inner thighs. Good. All right, one last little yoga thing we'll do today. Come into the center. Turn both of your feet so that your right foot is in the front. Come down onto that back knee. And then I want you to try to bring your right shin kind of like parallel in front of you. Go into that pigeon stretch. It's okay if it's not parallel. Honestly, my leg never is. My knee is always kind of back, or like my foot falls forward. I just want you to have a nice deep stretch for your hips here. So a couple things to keep in mind. Try to square off your hips. That'll help you get a deep stretch even if you can't really like bring your whole body down to the floor. Like I can't do that. But if I square off my hips, I'm like, ooh, whoop, there it is. There's the stretch I crave. And just straighten out your neck, straighten out your back. Don't round in. Don't dump into your low back. Just find something that works for you. If you feel stretched, you're doing the right thing. If it feels painful, don't do that. Whenever you're ready, unfurl yourself and just bring your left leg forward. Bring that left foot behind the right hand to start. Send that right knee down the back. And then just find, okay, this is it for me today. Find somewhere comfortable to hold that stretch. I swear I'm a very professional person. I just don't have this hip down. I just would have to like smash into the floor. Just breathe into it. Square up those hips as best you can, wherever you are in life. Deep breath in and out. And when you're ready, unpretzel yourself. Come into the center of your mat on your knees. Sitting up nice and tall, lifting those hips away from those heels just a little bit. Straighten out your back. Take a deep breath in here, bring the arms overhead. Close your eyes, exhale. Pull your hands down to your chest. Just press your palms into each other. And again, close your eyes, close them. You don't need to see anything. Take one deep breath in here. Exhale out through the mouth.